but they delayed. Welcome to all of you on this series on this day because due to some technical issues, we are unable to make this session live. So, so let us see the next thing what we are going to cover today in Bootstrap. 1 second. So let me have the setup first. 1 minute. I hope you all are waiting for today's session. But we are also trying for this session to make live. But suddenly, I don't know, something went wrong with the Restream software. And with this thing, particularly, we are struggling for this to make live. So now everything is now everything is clear, and we will make 1 second close and new. So today we will be having some 1 second. So let me have my screen set up. Okay, so you all will be able to view the Excel sheet also. Excel sheet is I have another idea to understand to make you understand the concept of this particular bootstrap thing because we are now entering into the grid which makes the website responsive. So 1 minute. 1 second, delete column, and this also we will use the delete row. Okay, so where are we yesterday? Not required. One second. So this is where what we ends at yesterday class. So 1 second. Now, if you see here, we have some we have the basic idea. And let me open this with like server. Mm, mm, mm. Where does it go live? Mm-hmm. Okay. Something went wrong. So 1 minute. So let us link this particular entire folder. Now it will make us live, and here we are. Okay, so the entire setup where we have left yesterday is there, and uh, and if you see 1 minute. Okay, so I'm ready with the setup now. Now, yesterday, where we have, and let me check this. So, we have discussed the flow also, and now we will be starting with. Okay, so here, yesterday, we have talked. Yesterday, we have talked that. One second. So, which topic, sir? अरे topic is only bootstrap यार. 1 second. Or 300. Let's try 200. Okay, fine. So, okay. So, as I've told you earlier in the yesterday's class, the main role of Bootstrap is to make the web page responsive. Responsive means you can run the page in any of the device where it may be desktop, laptop, iPad, um, smartwatch, or mobile Android, and also on Android TVs, because now these days Android TVs are also a kind of a smart device because it supports internet. And you can able to view any website on your smart TV also. So it gives a very larger extent of that particular version of website which you see on your smartwatch, or rather than on your Android TV. Uh, so now, okay. So I hope you all have an idea as how to include Bootstrap in the VS Code. So there were two ways what we have learned yesterday. The previous one, which is a CDN server, content delivery server network, is being used a lot because it makes your website fast. It runs your website fast. It loads your website fast. Now, when computer computer has been invented, okay, there, and after that internet has been evolved, then only the desktop, okay, I'm talking only about desktop. So only the desktop is the single source where you can run internet, or you can move, or you can watch internet. Now, so what happened? The developers have prepared a site which runs only on the desktop version. Okay. Now what happened after that? Laptop has invented. So what they did, they have created a different version, or let us suppose that mobile handsets have added. So what they did, they have created a different login page for the same website which is running on the desktop. Okay, if you remember the Facebook in 2012-13, I remember Facebook has a different URL for desktop and different URL for mobile handset. So as for the mobile handset, it has m.facebook.com, which M stands for mobile, and for desktop or laptop we have facebook.com. Now what is happening here? Now what is happening here? What was happening at that time? Both the devices uses the common database. The database is already all. Both the devices have the common database, but what is happening? The display property, or I can say the style, or I can say the graphic user interface GUI is different for both the page. Okay. Now things will be, I can say, will now, till that time things are okay, that you have a separate login page or a separate website for mobile and a separate website for desktop. So system will identify that what are you logging from, where you are logging. Now what happened till there, everything is fine. Now what happened that iPad has introduced. Now from here the problems start coming, because you cannot create different web page for different devices, because iPad you have a horizontal view or you have a vertical view, so it supports both type of view. Now here is the main problem, so that is why the solution of all these things are the evolution of responsive website. So now if you, okay, now let me open any web page here. Let us see amazon.com. So if you see this web page, okay, so you can find this web page, and let us suppose we, okay, so you will be viewing this on Galaxy Fold. So this is the Galaxy Fold view. Okay, now let me do one thing. Open this, open a separate page here of this particular web page. Okay, so see the difference between the Galaxy Fold and the desktop view. Okay, now the Galaxy Fold is a wide screen. Now let us assume this on Samsung Galaxy A71. So you can have here, you can see this thing like that. So that depends that the views are separate for separate devices. Now if we have, let me have 1 second, what is happening here. Folio iPad mini. Okay, see the iPad mini. Things getting changed. So that is why the use of responsiveness is being more. Attendance link will be shared in some time. Please don't ask. We will. That's our job. We will share it. CDN we have covered. Add to cart is done through Bootstrap, or isn't it? Add to cart is actually different functionality. We are only in creating of a web page. Add to cart is functionality which is being managed by JavaScript. So okay, so here we are talking. Now I will not see the chats because it distract the focus. So now if you see, this is the view which you will see on iPad. Now this is a desktop view. So that is why. So that is why the need for responsiveness has been increased a lot. So what is happening here? If you see, the responsiveness can be made with the help of Bootstrap. Now, all these things will be managed by Bootstrap through grid system, which seems that different pages for different pages are designed for different devices. But actually, what is happening that responsiveness is a thing which manages all this property very smartly. What do you think that there is a separate website designed for laptop? There is a separate website designed for mobile. There is a separate website designed for iPad. But what is happening with the help of responsiveness? The same website will work differently in a different device. Now let us see the Bootstrap grid system. So Bootstrap, what is a Bootstrap grid system? Now what I will do here, let me comment out all this thing. Okay, now Bootstrap grid system contains four things: breakpoint, So let us write here breakpoint container row and column. So this is all about Bootstrap grid system. So Bootstrap grid system contains of four things. What are the four things? Breakpoint, container, row and column. Now what is this a breakpoint? A breakpoint is I can say a categorization based on devices width. So a desktop is usually 15-inch, 14-inch, iPad is 7 to 8-inch, mobile handset is 2 to 3-inch. So based on the devices width, the categorization happens, or the divisions. Okay, now let us see what are those. Now we have a breakpoint, and after that we have a dimensions. Okay, now I will write here only, because it will be there with for our reference. Now for this particular thing in the I can say dimension, we have a device of extra small size. So for this particular thing, we have the dimension, I can say from 0 to 575 px. Okay. Now for the small dimensions, we have the dimension from 576 px to 767 px. Now from small we have the medium, and for the medium we have 768 px to 991 px, and after medium we have large. For the large we have 992 px to 1199 px, and for extra large we have from 1200 px to 1399 px, and for extra large, for extra large we have greater than equal to 1400 px. Now what is this all about? Okay, so we are just talking about the dimensions. Dimensions means mm, okay, so okay, so now what is this extra small and breakpoint and dimension? Breakpoint is basically the size of the screen, or the I can say the width. If the width is extra small, the dimension will be from 0 to 575 px. So it I can say the keypad phones, if you have remember, some keypad phones also support some websites. Okay, so that use that particular things. Now for small we have 576 px to 6767 px. Now what is how you will be able to view the px? So let us have an idea. So here if you have control shift, okay, this will not work here. So here if you see, now if you see here, you can see the px. See here you can see the px. See, this is the current px control pixel. So currently we are 1321 px. Currently we are at 1321 px. So you can see 1224 px. So here, after opening the control shift, after opening the inspect button, you can view the px. Okay, so now going back to the topic. So for the large dimensions, for the large breakpoints, we have the dimension of 768px to 991. Sorry, we have 992 to 1199px, extra large 1200px to 1399. Sorry, 1399px. And for extra large, extra large are basically the Android TVs. Okay, extra large are the desktops. Large are also in the desktops. Medium large comes in the category of mobile and iPads. So now after this, these are basically what. Now we have, for these separate IDs. Oh, sorry, for these separate dimensions and breakpoints, we have some classes also which are by default created in Bootstrap to make the web page responsive. So let us have the classes. So for this particular things, or I can say class in fix. So for this extra small, we have nothing. So we will use nothing means dash. Okay, and for this particular thing, small, we use SM. Medium, as the name says, medium means MD. Large means LG. Extra large XL, and extra large we use double XL. So these are the class infix which we will be using in classes to make the web page responsive. So you need to remember this thing. Where you want to view based on the screen size, you will be able to identify the breakpoint, and based on that you will be able to, you have to you have to add this class infix. Okay, now moving on to the next thing, which is the container. What is a container? So container is nothing but, I can say, a wrapper. If you have eaten chocolates, so the wrapper of the chocolate is called as a container. Okay, which wraps everything, which wraps each and everything inside it. So wrapper is that contains the entire website, and that entire website is called, and that entire wrapper is called, we can call it as a div. So here, okay, let me open some web page here. So if you see here, one second. So here in the Google page, this entire thing, or I can say this entire web page is wrapped in a div. So let us inspect this thing. So if you see console, so this entire thing is body, and where we can find it. So it is, this particular thing is that thing which is called as a container, which wrapped the entire website. So that is called as a container which wrap the entire website, and normally we called it as a div. Now after that container, what, there are 2 to 3 types of container. Okay, there are 2 to 3 types of container which we'll see it later, but in order to understand the concept, we had discussed this. Now there are 2 to 3 types of container: a normal container, container fluid, container breakpoint. But we will see each and every type of container later on. Now for this, let us write something. Dot container. This is called as a container which wrap the entire website inside it. Okay, so we need to use this particular thing just after the body. Okay, now if you have noticed something, okay, so let us discuss some one more thing very important here. So we have one thing to discuss here. So we have a website. So we have password dot. Okay, see this particular page. If you see the width of the page, the width of the page is how much is the width? Let us see. The width of the page is around 1553 px. Okay, but what is happening here? The width here, you can see see it is only using the width as this particular thing. See, if you see here, even if I am making it small, it is taking some width here. But after some time, what happens it? The width will become zero. Okay. So that is what I want to show you, that some websites have the width which is less than the size of the container. Okay, now let's say what I'm trying to say here, the screen size is 1400 px and our website is 400 px. Website have 400 px, right? Our website will always look like 400 px only. Why it is happening? Because one minute, I will show you another website. So we have password generator, passwordgenerator.net. So passwordgenerator.net. So you can view, no, not this one. Okay, see this file. So when I go to inspect, what is happening here? You can have the width. See, so it is showing only the width and not using the entire screen. So if I make it small, see, it tries to have some margin on both left and right side for some particular extent, and after this it adjusted automatically. So that is how it is happening, because see, so at this particular point of time, at this instance, a sudden change is happening. That is happening because of the classes we have given when we switch from small devices to large devices, or medium to small, or a transition is happening between the devices screen. So that is why it is happening. So that is just an example. We will do each and everything one by one. Um, okay. Now, after this container, let us see row. What is a row? So row will always be inside a container. That is the main basic rule. Row will always be inside the container, and as soon as we create a class named row in a parent div with class container, it will divide the whole page into 12 equal columns. So we can call that columns as grid also. So let us use dot row. Now here some rules are there. After body, it there has to always be a container, And inside this container, we always have to have a class with the name of the class as row. So this by default you need to maintain. And what I told you, row will always be inside a container. Okay. Now, as soon as we create a row, it will divide the whole page into 12 equal columns. Now I have opened a Microsoft Excel sheet also. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 1 second, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So here I have created 12 columns. Okay. So in order to understand the concept of grid, I'm using this particular logic. But here 1 second. Okay. So we have, okay. So if you see here, 1 second. These are specifically 12 columns. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So as soon as we write here the class as row, the whole of your page will gets divided into 12 columns. So we have divided the whole page into 12 columns. Okay. So assume this is our page and the 12 columns have been created. Now, what is happening here? Now, what is happening here? If you see the columns here, so here this is column number one, column number two. So let me write column number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So these are our 12 columns. Now, if I write call 1, okay, if I write class here as call 1 with bg, bg means background color, bg primary. See what is happening here. 1 second. Okay, so leave it now because it will not work here. So row as column 1. So here row call 1. Call 1 is for this particular column, for single column. Okay. Now if I write call 2, so what this call 2 will create? Call 2 will gets call 2 will be like this thing. Two columns will merge and create one. Now, if I write call 3, so 3 will gets merged and create 1. If I write call 4, so 4 will get merged and create 1. If I write call 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 will get into 1. If I write call 6, similarly 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. So for this particular, if I write call 1, so what will happen here? This particular, the first call will be there. Call 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But if I write call 2, if I write call 2, so we have this 2, 2, 2, 2. So two column will merge and become one. Now let us go back and see how we will use it. So if I write div class call 12, call 12 here, you can see nothing. Why nothing? In- because I have not write here anything in the content part. Now let us see one thing. So if you have 1 second, okay, leave it. Now, now one very important thing about row. Okay, so row is a div which contains column. So there are some, I can say, thumb rules which you need to follow. Okay, so first after body you need to have a class with container. After container you need to have a class with row. But row is a div which contains column. So after row we have to have a column. Okay, so row is a div which contains column. Okay, div with class column must be have a row as a parent. Okay, so row and column will have to be have in a parent child concept. Row will be the parent and column will be the child. Okay, column div cannot be inside a row div. Okay, column div will not be inside row div. And whenever you define a div with row, with class as row, it divide that div into 12 columns. Okay, so now let us see how it is going to happen. So if I tell you in a different pattern, so let me have another sheet here. So so 1 second, delete row and delete column. Now if you see here, let us color all this. So here, this entire blue thing is called as the container. So this is called as, let me write here, this is called as a container. Now inside, as we have written, inside a container we have a row. So let us have some, so let us have some, okay, so let me have row like that. So inside container we have row. So we have row here. Okay. So container, as I told you, is the wrapper which contains each and everything, like chocolate wrapper. Now we have container. Inside container we have row, and inside row we have column. So we have column. So let us have a column here. So we have column, but here we have column as called 2. we have called 2 because we are using 2, and here we have using let me do one thing. Okay, so now what we will do, we will have, okay, now this thing is called 3. Okay, now as I've told you, the parent will be the container. Inside the container we have row, inside the row we have column. Now if we want, if we want if we want another column inside a column, so we need to have a row first. So here if we want a new column, so you need to create a row first. Okay, because you cannot have a column inside a column, so you need to have a row first. Now inside that row you can create columns as per your requirement. So we have call 3 again. So this is a graphical representation which I want to share you. Now what has happened here? Here I cannot draw 12 columns. So let us assume that this have 12 columns. Okay. Now this row again have 12 columns. 12 columns or 12 grid, or 12 grid or 12 columns. Now here we have call to, means we have 2 columns being taken up by this red color. Now remaining 10 is being used by this blue color. Now if we want another column inside a column, so that will not happen, because a column cannot be created inside a column, because as I've told you, there is a parent child concept. Parent child concept means row will be the parent of a column. Okay, so inside a column you have to create a row, and inside a row again you have to create a column. Now as soon as you create a column, now as soon as you create a row inside a column, you will again have 12 grid columns. Okay, so this is something very logical. Or let me try to tell you once again. As soon as you put class row, the whole page will divide into 12 columns. Okay, so as soon as we have, here we have given classes row, this particular thing will get divided into 12 columns. Let us assume these there are 12 columns. Okay, now inside a row, inside a row we can have only columns. Now inside a column, we cannot create a column. So for this, inside a column, if you want to create a column, we need to create a row first. And inside the row, we will create a column. Now, as soon as we create a row, we will get 12 columns. So we again have 12 columns here. Okay. So that we will see. Okay. That we will see. Okay. Slow. Okay, my dear friend. So sorry if I am fast here. I will try to be a little bit slow, but I'm trying to explain you in a very layman language. That is why I'm using this Excel kind of presentation in front of you. Now let us see the next thing here. Where is it? Is the container. Okay. So there is a rule in BS that I've told you. Okay. Now there are three type of containers which I've told you. First one is the common, is the normal class. What we are using is called as a container. Is this. Now after that, let us see, we have container fluid and we have container breakpoint. Okay. So container fluid gives 100% width to on every devices. We will see you how it works. Now, let us see each one by one. So, before going to that, let me go to the Gita of Bootstrap. Bootstrap, where is the Bootstrap? The Bootstrap official web page. Here. So, now, where is the container? So, here is the container. So, if you see here, okay, we will discuss this after some time. Before this, let us have an example how it works. So, let me have a container class fluid, container class fluid, and this container class fluid, we will be having a id of name red, and one second, where is our live server? Okay, here is our live server. So now what we will do, let us make this hello active, or let us make this one, and we will write here welcome to BS. So here is our content, welcome to BS. Now what we will do, let us style this particular ID red. So where we will do styling dash red. We'll use the background color as red only. Now see, you can see, and have the color to white. The font will be changed to white. Now let us use the height to 500 px. So what is happening here? What happened here actually? As soon as I have given the color, the height to 500 px, it uses the 500 px from top. Now let us try to make change the so now here if you see, as I've told you, container fluid will use the 100% width. Okay, while using this class, the margin will become zero when viewed on a mobile view. So if you see here, it uses the 100% width even on the mobile devices. See, or if you want to see, okay, let us view this thing on Chrome. So this is for iPad Mini, and let us see I'm A71. So it is using the 100% width. Okay. Now let us go back to the code. And here what we will do. Okay. So now let us try to understand this particular where is it? This particular thing. Okay, what is happening here? Now if I write, okay, okay, now before going to this, let us see. So if I write here the class as only container, let us see the movement. So if you see here, earlier there was no margin. So if I change it, what is happening? One second. Okay, let me go back to that where we have our inspect option. Okay, so if you see here in this particular iPad Air, we have some margins on both direction. If I view this on A51, so you can see there is no margin. So, so the result where we comes to an output is, if we use this particular container, this particular class as container, okay, on small devices, it does not use any margin. Okay, so let us see on Galaxy Fold. So see, it is not using any margin here, or iPhone XR. See, but if we gets on iPad Mini, it uses some margin here, and if we go on not using, okay, so this is how, see, margins are there. So here, let us try to understand this particular thing. So we have a class dot container, and we have a class as container dash fluid. So how does it react? So using container as class, the screen size between large and extra large. So using container as class, the screen size between large and extra large will be 960px. Okay, 960px, and extra large and extra large will be 1140px. So large and extra large will be 960px, and extra large and extra large will be 1160px. Okay, so now let us see to 960px using the classes container. We have the classes container. Let us see on 960px. So here in the right, you can see the class 960px, 960px, 960px. So if you see here 960px, so where's the chart? So here's the chart. Now 960px, okay. This is the 960px between large and extra large, okay. A switch to 960px. It uses like that. Now after that, it works like that. So this is how it works here. And if you see on container class fluid, so let us change this to container class. So response will get changed here. See, it is using the full width. So what this table says, in this container class fluid, it is using the 100% of the width. So it is actually using the 100% of the width. No margin is there. So that is how these both containers will work. Now there is a third container which I have told you, container breakpoint. This container breakpoint have been introduced in Bootstrap 5. Earlier it was not there, which is with 100% until the specified breakpoint. So these are the breakpoints. These are the breakpoints what we have learned here. These are the breakpoints. Okay. So as soon as we switch from there to there, these particular classes will get into action. So here if you see the container which sets at a max width at each responsive breakpoint, and container fluid which is width 100% at all breakpoints. So this is a little bit confusing. So please, Array, who is this? Yeah, 1 second. Hmm. Okay, so here we will come to an end, and from tomorrow we will start from the row. As I've told you, we have the in BS grids, Bootstrap grid system, we have breakpoints, container, row and column. So we have completed breakpoint and container. So we will start with row from tomorrow. So thank you. Same to you. See you tomorrow.